Welcome back to the Off the Woodwork Podcast. I'm Matt Perry, joined by Anthony Milne and Stephen Hall. We are on
Hello
episode... Hello there, General Kenobi. Oh, you've just led me on to do it. I don't even know what episode this is now. What episode is it?
I don't know anymore. I lost track.
24, I think. It's 24 or 25 or 23 or something like that.
That shows how long we've been unemployed for. How are we both today? Anyway, all right?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
I'm okay, yeah. Pretty good, you know. Things are going pretty well in the footballing world, for my team anyway. So
yeah,
that reflects my personality most of the time.
Before we get on to that, though, like in a bit, did you see Klopp's comments on Chelsea?
Did he say that he thinks we're the title contenders or something?
He said you're favourites.
He thinks we're favourites. He's having us on. Liverpool are favourites in my world.
I think you've got probably the most stacked squad right now because also you've been quite lucky with. You don't have too many injuries right now compared to Liverpool or...
Hudson-Odoi's injured. Pulisic has apparently got a dodgy hammy and Ziyech is out now as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the way we're playing, I'm fairly confident. I didn't see the Krasnodar game the other night because I was out, but it didn't look great. I was out watching the Mighty Carshot and Athletic.
But to be honest, you'd already qualified though. It's the same with us last night. I didn't watch the Champions League game in Liverpool last night because we'd already qualified. I knew, I saw the team we were playing. Yeah, that was clearly a rest of good players and
1-0 against Michelin. So yeah, I mean, don't really matter. But anyway, how's the predictions from last week looking? And I don't think I got any correct scores right, but I saw a couple.
No, you got one. You got
I got Chelsea. I got Chelsea,
which I also got. I also got Chelsea.
Yeah. So 3-2. I was so unlucky.
Chelsea,
and I got there was another one. I got Southampton, Brighton. So 6 points this past week. Stephen Hall.
Not been a good year. Not been a good month.
In second place, Matt with 7 points.
And
I got 10 points this week, which brings the totals. So if you remember last week, Stephen and I were both on 10 and Matt was on 17. Yeah. So Matt is still out in front with 24 points. I'm in second place with 20. And Stephen is in last place with 16.
It's doable. A comeback
this is a big week, though. So
there's a lot of games, so this comeback could be on.
We've got 18 games to do for the prediction later, and that's every game apart from 2 because they're on the Thursday when we will most likely be recording next. If we're not, we'll do it at some other time. But yeah, looking fairly tight, and I mean, there's a lot of points to pick up here, quite frankly. So should be interesting, and there's some really tough games to predict coming up. But anyway, we'll move back to the last week in the Premier League, and we shall start with we're going to go Liverpool versus Wolves. 4-0 to Liverpool. People thought it might be a bit of a tough game. I personally didn't. I thought Liverpool would win comfortably.
Didn't you think it would be a draw, Stephen, if I remember rightly?
No, my initial prediction was 2-1, but because you both predicted a win, I thought I would go a bit different.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I remember.
Like I said, I think Liverpool are going to win, but I'm just going to predict a draw just in case.
Every time people think, Liverpool's home record might be broken, whether it be Leicester, Wolves, whoever, like Liverpool show up and they win at home.
Yeah. Talk us through it then, Ed.
Yeah, it was a good game. Liverpool looked back to the usual selves. Obviously, we were depleted again. Kelleher was in goal instead of Alisson. Kelleher did a great job, though. Yeah. I really want him to now be our number 2, ahead of Adrian. I really like Curtis Jones playing again. I think he's now kind of moved from the young prospect to like a squad player level.
Yeah. Like a FIFA career mode kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, I'm trying to think what I can say, but it was just, back to business.
I think that was the best Liverpool performance I've seen this season so far in the Premier League. I thought Liverpool were outstanding in that game. And I've got to say, Fabinho and Matip, they looked really good as a centre-back pairing.
They have looked good, though, when the two have played together. Fabinho, for someone who's not a centre-back, has looked very good at centre-back. He's better than most actual centre-backs in the league.
I think he's your second-best centre-back, Fabinho.
No. Matip and Gomez, when they're good, are great. Their problems are injuries. So they're both better defenders than Fabinho, but Fabinho's much more consistent.
So what happened with Wolves? Was it the case of them being sussed out? Now they ain't got Jimenez up front?
They just didn't turn up.
Yeah, it looked like a poor performance from them. Did you guys see the penalty call originally? with
Liverpool actually getting a favourable VAR decision. Wow.
But did you see the footage? Because I think reversing that decision was the right call because Mane doesn't touch him.
No, he purposefully moves his leg away because he knows that, oh shit, I'm going to get done here, so he moves his leg away. But
that to me shows the difference between a good player and an elite player. Mane to have that like whereabouts to move his leg like that because it's not easy to do in that kind of position.
Even in slow motion, it looked really quick the way he did it. Like even in slow motion, it looked quite rapid.
But then
like
you can't blame Conor Cody. He's seen an opportunity to try and get penalty, get his team level. He's took it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
not that I'm an advocate for it.
But that's one of the times where I think VAR got the right call. Like I say, my issue with VAR is the offside calls. It's not really the penalty and free kicks. Because my issue with the penalty and free kicks are the handball rules, which is different to VAR. But to me, that was the right call. I think the referee had a decent time of it. Which
when I first saw it before the VAR replay, I thought it was a penalty. Like for initially, just from the initial in-play moment. Yeah, I thought.
But then I saw VAR and I'm like, "There's no way they give this a penalty. They can't because he doesn't touch him." I think, like I say, Salah, Mane. Like I don't know what else I can say that hasn't been said about them before. Trent's back, which is great.
Obviously, Wolves are they missed Raul Jimenez in that game. Definitely, they just didn't have someone who could hold up the ball.
Raul Jimenez has now been discharged, hasn't he? He was in hospital. He's now been discharged.
It's looking pretty good for Liverpool at the moment.
We just need Thiago back. Obviously, Van Dijk and Gomez are out for a longer time, but we just need Thiago back. I mean, we're okay.
I think
Thiago missed the entire of the Champions League. He got injured the week before our first game, and group stages are done.
Yeah. I mean, you'll win your next game, but then you've got Spurs, which will be interesting.
But we have Spurs at Anfield.
Yeah.
So one more thing about Wolves. I think
Mourinho,
obviously Wolves have been playing pretty well when they switched to 4 at the back recently, but I think for this game, they should have gone back to 5 at the back, personally. Obviously, 4 at the back is going to work if you're playing against teams that are either on the same level or are worse than you. But against Liverpool, really, the 4 at the back just left them too exposed. Maybe they should have gone back to their traditional 5 at the back.
Despite him like having a mix-up with Salah's goal and then diving, I still think Conor Cody is a very good defender and a very good captain.
Same. I'm a big fan of Cody. Yeah,
I would love to see him back at Liverpool, truthfully. Especially right now when we need to send it back. I think the rumours are either we're not going in for anyone, or it's the likes of Ben White or kind of Conor Cody.
Ben White's potential. I don't know.
Well, the rumour, apparently I heard this, that Klopp in the summer, number 1 target on his shopping list is Upamecano. Him and Van Dijk would be
ridiculous. That would just be stupid. Oh, yeah, he is.
I was going to say, I can't tell if he's just staring at me or if he's frozen.
Hello, I'm back. Where did I go?
You look so sad when you were frozen. You were like...
Yeah, because I kind of just clocked that I'd frozen. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear any of it, unfortunately. I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi off on my laptop anyway. But yeah, as we were saying.
I was saying, like, number 1 target on Klopp's shopping list is Upamecano.
I think it'll be on most people's.
I was just saying how ridiculously unfair that would be if they had both of them.
It would be very unfair if Liverpool got Upamecano. So I hope Chelsea going for Upamecano instead. Because he does look like the next best centre-back, to be honest, out of all the young kind of guys in Europe at the moment. Anyway.
What United can really do with him right now. And on that note, shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah, so that was a very annoying game to watch, I thought. Stephen, you saw it. It's quite interesting.
That was the biggest case of a game of 2 halves I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God, how different those 2 halves were. Yeah, in the first half, United were absolutely awful. They were shocking. Like, West Ham could have easily got 3 or 4 goals, but being West Ham, they just couldn't capitalise and take their chances.
This is the annoying thing for me in that game. The annoying thing for me was not that United bloody won after being 1-0 down as usual, but it was the fact that West Ham just didn't finish their chances. They could have seriously been about 4 or 5-0 up going into half time, and they just didn't finish it. So in my eyes, West Ham have no one but themselves to blame for not picking up any points in that game.
But the thing is, if you remember where West Ham were this time last year, maybe just after, the idea of them they should have beat Man United was foreign. Yeah. It's like, my point is, like, they had a poor result this weekend, but West Ham are still doing well. Especially by their standard. I don't mean that with disrespect to West Ham, but like I say, they are a team who are woefully inconsistent, but they seem to have picked up a bit of consistency this season.
Yeah. They're still a bit. I still don't think this is a reflection on United at the moment. I still think they're going to have a bit of a crappy run coming up. Personally,
I don't get what happens with United. Sorry to interrupt, Stephen, but I don't get what happens. Like, they looked really good the second part of last season. They looked really good in the lockdown games.
Yeah,
and now they've just gone.
For me. It's just a very. I think the problem's the locker room's very diva-y. I think they're a bunch of divas.
Speaking of which, have you seen Pogba and his agent?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just prime example, isn't it? His agent can't keep away from it, can he?
He reminds me of like American athletes, like for example, right now James Harden in the NBA, he's wanting out of the Houston Rockets, so he's refusing to show up to training, and he's instead being photographed in strip clubs. Like,
oh, good on him.
And I'm like, it's such an American athlete kind of attitude that Pogba was kind of incorporated here.
Yeah, that's proper 90s attitude.
Yeah, you'd expect this from like a NFL player or NBA player. You don't expect it from a footballer at Manchester United.
Yeah. To be honest, I've always said it, the sooner they get Paul Pogba out, the better. They can start building a better team once.
Even if they're just a loan, just like say to a team, like just ship him out on loan, get someone else to pay his wages.
Juve will take him.
Juventus
will take him.
Juventus and more.
With Barcelona's terrible signing policy at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if they went into
for some reason, I think he'd go to PSG. Honestly, I don't know why, but it just seems like the move.
Yeah.
Big French name. I mean, like, yeah.
Maybe.
PSG have got a fair few divas on their team already, so it wouldn't be out of place.
What? Name one.
Very good. Very good.
But, I think Rashford, the main difference that at half-time was Mata. Obviously, he got the assist from Rashford. Like, they combined for Man United's third goal. I think they really made the difference.
Mata's secretly had quite a good season. That's gone a bit under the radar so far.
What age is Mata now?
Oh, he must be 31, 32.
I was going to say, he's kind of like, in my mind, sometimes I forget he's still in the Premier League because he doesn't start for United often. But he never does. He never has a bad game when he does play. I mean, he's not the same Mata that he was in previous years, but he still doesn't have bad games. You
all know my love for Juan Mata. He's one of my favourite Chelsea players I've ever watched. It's a shame he wasn't there for so long. But yeah, I mean, he makes a difference. But I mean, the big difference for United was bringing on Rashford at half-time.
Apart from substitutions, why do you think Man United are just so awful in first halves, but then become prime Fergie Man United in second halves of games?
They're just a very jammy team.
they need to be behind to like get the motivation or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, that team he started the team that started against West Ham wasn't their normal kind of starting 11 they've been going with this season.
Look, they actually started Cavani and he didn't look good when he started.
Yeah, well, Cavani came off at half-time along with Van der Beek, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it just shows the signing policy this summer let them down.
Well, yeah.
Van der Beek's not done much there, considering how good he was at Ajax. Cavani, is a player in his twilight years. Free transfer. He's not an awful free transfer, but it's not a position they really needed reinforcement at.
Yeah.
He's a good super sub. Keep him as a super sub.
Yeah, well, that's what he should be going forward as well. He's got 2 goals anyway.
And Alex Telles, I still don't know.
Yeah,
because
I'm not too convinced, to be honest.
Alex Telles was my first choice for left back at Chelsea. And
you're glad you went for Chilwell now?
Oh, I'm very glad we went for Chilwell. Yeah, I mean, Chilwell's been great since he's joined. So, yeah, I mean, pretty happy
Chilwell's much younger as well.
And Chilwell's only, 23, 24?
Telles is like 29. I think he's 29.
I don't think he's that old.
No.
Yeah, he is. He's been at Porto a long time. He's been there and he was at Galatasaray for a while before that as well.
How do you see West Ham doing over the next period?
I think where I predicted them was probably where they'll finish, around 13th. I think that's probably where they're going to end up.
I think they'll still be a fairly solid season. Now, I mean, obviously, at first...
He's 27. Alex Telles is 27.
Oh, he's 27, okay. So he's still not exactly spring chicken.
Oh, no, he's not spring chicken. He's in his prime years. West Ham, I'd say between 10th and 14th, which I think is what I said for Leeds as well. So
West Ham and Leeds are on a similar sort of level right now where they'll lose the odd game, but they'll win the odd game as well. They'll kind of just bounce between wins and losses and draws.
Do you see Villa finishing higher than West Ham and Leeds or below them?
I've seen him finishing higher.
Probably higher.
Once they get their... When their team's fully fit and Jack Grealish isn't out partying, then yeah.
Isn't Jack Grealish with Jesse Lingard's ex-missus?
I don't know.
I saw something about that over the weekend.
There is a picture floating around group chats at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I don't know.
I shall just send it to you. You can make whatever comment about that you like. We'll keep that off the podcast.
It's this kind of...
Cast it into the fire! Destroy it! No.
Something I don't really want to see.
Nah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. I say fair play to you. Yeah.
Oh my God, what have I just seen?
That was me live letting Stephen and Anthony know about the picture of Jack Grealish as we go around group chats at the moment. So yeah, that's probably why he got in trouble. But yeah, anyway, when Villa get, I can't believe I'm saying it, but when Villa get Ross Barkley back, they should be in pretty good nick.
Is John McGinn injured, or is he playing at the moment?
No, McGinn's playing. McGinn's playing at the moment.
I think he's pretty important for them as well.
Yeah.
Now we move on.
Moving on to speaking of West Ham and how they're similar to Leeds, shall we talk about the Leeds-Chelsea game?
Let's look at the Chelsea versus Leeds game. So obviously I watched the whole game. It was a fairly interesting game. My main point from the game was that Leeds United look very good attacking when they want to, but they can't defend for shit. That's, I think, a fair sort of judgment of their sort of time in the Premier League so far this season. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I think what Leeds do, they try and just out of the gate, they just try and go like ballistic and just go mental in the first half an hour and try and get as many goals as they can, and then just sort of clean on for the rest of the game. I think that's their strategy, and it almost worked, but not against. It might work against worse teams, but against the top teams, I don't think it's going to work.
No. What have you guys done? I mean, we haven't really looked in depth at Chelsea game in a few weeks or so. How do we feel about Chelsea at the moment?
Top 3 finish, definitely.
They're looking good, yeah.
I still want to see them when because this has happened before. Where I think it was under Sarri, Chelsea started really well, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be between City, Liverpool, and Chelsea."
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, it was okay. It's between City and Liverpool.
See, I get that.
So I do want to wait and see.
I like to think. I mean, I like to think that we've already had our bad patch at the start of the season.
No, I know, but what I'm meaning is Chelsea are playing really well.
Yeah.
And I expect them to continue playing at this level and finish in a good position.
Yeah.
But I think maybe this will be they don't win the title this season, but next season they are the favourites.
I'm more hopeful with the Conte approach, where we started badly, then Conte changed us to the back 5 and we went on about 15 games.
Yeah, like I said, they're playing well. They're playing very well.
Yeah, we are playing well. Still a few gaps in the team, I think.
I still also think when fixture congestion hits, especially in December, January, February, they'll have some trouble.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea are the best equipped for that though, because I think Chelsea at the moment have got the best squad depth in the league. I think. Yeah,
probably. Because at the moment we've got obviously Werner and who's starting, and then obviously we're switching between Abraham and Giroud. Giroud, who's obviously had a
probably the most underrated striker in the Premier League right now.
Oh yeah, without doubt. Well, to be fair,
even when he was at Arsenal,
even
at Arsenal, everyone always used to chat shit about Oliver Giroud, but yet his goals for games records, especially for France and for Arsenal, were insanely good. I think he's just one of those players that no one ever fully took a liking to, but he is good at what he does. He's not the flashiest or
the most.
It's very similar to sort of Lewandowski in a way, where he's not the flashiest, but he just scores goals.
Yeah.
Whether they be good or bad goals, he just bangs them in.
Yeah. So I'm fairly happy with Giroud. I'm a bit concerned about Pulisic at the moment because it just seems like he's going to be keep getting injured. But hopefully he can stay fit.
Yeah, he's been injured quite a lot, hasn't he?
And obviously Ziyech as well. He went down in that game.
Yeah, Perisic is out for a couple of weeks. The two players who've been playing really well at the moment for me are Reece James and Mason Mount. I think they've both looked very good.
Yeah, to be honest, they've never seemed to be having a bad game when I've watched Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're just all reliable. I mean, they might not be the best player on the pitch every game, but they're always like a 7. They're at least a 7 out of 10.
I forget Mason Mount's still only 21, and he's
it's like James Milne for Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool when a few seasons ago with James Milne, he was never a 10 out of 10, but he was never a 5 out of 10. He was always like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Same with Van Dijk. A bad game for Van Dijk was a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Mason Mount and Reece James are kind of like that, where it's like, they're never going to be a 10 out of 10 performance, let's say, or at least not often. They'll rarely have a 5 out of 10. They're always a good, consistently solid player to have on your team. And you need those players, especially if you're wanting to challenge for Premier League titles and Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
You need those kinds of players who are there every game.
Yeah, I'm fairly hopeful.
In the Leeds game, we saw Edouard Mendy do a very bad Manuel Neuer impression.
Yes, no, we did see that.
That was horrendous.
Just wait and see next Kepa.
Yeah,
2.0.
In general, God, no, that did make me crap some. No, in general, though, Mendy's done all right. I think
he looked like, when your mate who doesn't want to play in goal, but he's forced to in pro clubs, and he just comes running out because he's bored. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
For goodness sake. So yeah,
and also another thing, just want to tack on as well. Werner, he has got to improve his finishing. Like he's that player. He's good. He's quick and he dribbles in.
Yeah,
and he can never finish.
But that was always my one issue with Werner. Even when he was Germany, and I know he scored a lot of goals at Leipzig, but when I watched him, especially in the Champions League, he seemed very wasteful.
Well, do you know what? It's been interesting because actually watching Werner this season, he's played really well during the games. He's done a lot of stuff, but his finishing's been terrible. And then he'll go through a cold phase in the game, but then he'll get hot again, and then he'll always still manage to do something really good. And again, it was this game he got the assist on Pulisic's goal.
If he could improve his finishing, he'd be one of the top players in the Premier League, I think. He could improve his finishing.
But I still fancy him if he's in a one-on-one situation. It's just when them balls are coming in hot at him and he's having to take them quick, it just I think
long term he's not really. He shouldn't really play as a lone striker. I think either out on the wing or as a 2 up top. I think I can't. He's not good enough. Like he's not. His attributes don't suit being a lone striker up top. Yeah. I think Giroud, Abraham are better at that.
We'll put him next to Haaland, and hopefully that will be good next season. But I'm still fairly optimistic. Chelsea look good. Leeds just need to sort out their defence. That was a lovely goal they scored. That was probably the best goal I saw this weekend. Calvin Phillips with the through ball to Bamford.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass. Really,
that was a lovely pass.
Another great goal this weekend. Lovely goal.
Bamford did well as well to keep composed and put it past Mendy and slot it in.
Yeah,
still,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
as
long as Leeds can sort their defence out, they'll definitely be mid-table.
But to segue on when talking about great goals, Heung-min Son's against Arsenal, and also Harry Kane's, both lovely strikes.
Yeah.
Any surprise with this game? Any surprise?
No, we all had Tottenham down to win, didn't we?
I know we did. I can't remember if Stephen did.
I did.
I said
1-0.
Yeah.
That was 2-0.
Yes, you both had 1-0. I had 2-1.
Yeah.
I think hot take. I think Saka is the most overrated young player in world football right now.
João Felix.
He's had 2 terrible games in a row now.
Yeah, 2 terrible games. João Felix went for 128 million and did nothing for Atletico Madrid.
It might be the Arsenal effect. Playing for Arsenal just seems to make you look worse.
Possibly, I'm sorry. Not convinced.
João Felix is the most overrated.
I think he's the next Alex Iwobi, where he looked promising, but now he's on the bench at Everton in 5 years.
He's the next Theo Walcott.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what playing for Arsenal does to you. Look, all the ones who've gone on to do well are the ones who've got out of Arsenal before it was too late.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's got Champions League and a Premier League winners medal.
Yeah. Sammy Nasri went to Man City.
Just putting on Instagram
Premier League.
posts.
Robin van Persie went to Man United. Got
Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole became a club legend at Chelsea.
Robin van Persie.
Thierry Henry went on to win the Champions League.
Yep. So they all go running eventually, and when they do, that's when they actually go and get some success. Giroud won stuff at Chelsea. So yeah, I mean, it's just I don't see how you could be a top player and look at Arsenal and think, yeah, I really want to play for them.
I don't know how Arsenal get themselves out of this hole they're in right now. I don't.
Did you see there was a TikTok with the pointless music as it goes down?
Yeah.
You know that when they say an answer,
No, I haven't seen it. No.
So it's a TikTok where someone's done that with the table, like pointing at Arsenal, like, oh, it's a low one.
It's a low one. Stephen, before we were really interrupted, what were you saying?
I don't know, what was I saying?
Where are Arsenal going to finish at the table?
Where are Arsenal?
I was going to let you do your thing, but you've screwed it.
Like I screwed your mum.
Oh.
That's bang out of order. That's bang out of order.
That's bang out. That's too far.
Anyway, I still think Arsenal are top 8 because even when they did badly, you know, the thing is it's still very close. The table, if you look at it realistically, you know.
Where did Everton finish last season?
Everton finished
10th or 11th.
Yeah, I think it was bottom half.
I think Arsenal were going to finish in a similar position to where Everton finished last season.
Well, let's look. Who's going to finish above Arsenal at the moment? So at the moment,
the rest of the big 6. So that's 5 people already.
Wolves.
Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, City. That's 5. Leicester 6.
Wolves.
Wolves 7th.
I don't think Villa finish above them.
Southampton?
No.
I think Southampton.
Honestly, I don't think so. Once again, no. The thing is, we're forgetting Arsenal do have a better squad than these teams. They're just not playing well. If Arsenal go on a winning streak,
Everton had a lot better squad than Sheffield United last year, but they've either finished like one place above or below. Like
they actually finished 3 places below.
So you think?
But for the majority of the season, they were like 3 points below Sheffield.
5 points below, 3 places below.
So you think Arsenal are going to finish what, 8th? And
I still think top 8, truthfully, because if you look at it, right, so Tottenham in first place with 24 points, Arsenal in 15th with 13. 11 points isn't that huge. I'm not saying that's what they were before. What I mean is, like, if you look at Man City in 7th on 18 points, Arsenal are 5 points behind them. So they're 15th now, which looks bad, but when you actually look at, like, the table,
I think they'll finish top half.
Apart from the bottom 4 teams, it's pretty close.
I think Arsenal will finish 9th or 10th.
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, so I'm saying 8th. You're saying 9th or 10th. So I'm being a bit more optimistic because even Arsenal, when they've had poor seasons, they still normally finish in the top 8.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester, United, City all finish above them.
I think potentially Everton finish above them. I think potentially
Everton, Wolves do as well.
I think Southampton
7 places. I don't know if Southampton or West Ham will. Because we don't know if they'll then go on a run of poor form.
I have high hopes for Southampton now this season. I think Ward-Prowse is playing well. They'll have Ings back soon.
He's back already, isn't he?
Oh, was he back? Oh, my bad.
Didn't he have the controversial penalty this weekend?
Yeah, Danny Ings was the one who won the penalty. Or no, he took the penalty. He didn't win the penalty.
But wait, I don't think Palace or Villa or Newcastle or Leeds finish ahead of Arsenal. I think Villa's defensive weaknesses will catch up to them. Like if you look at it, Villa have won. They've played 9 games. They've won 5. They've lost 4. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's either like one way or the other. Either they win or lose. Like they don't.
That's my point. That's my point, though. So
very hot and cold.
Liverpool winning 4-0 was good though because it gets our goal difference up a bit again.
Establish the goal difference a bit.
I mean, your goal difference now is 24. No, it's not. It is 9. Chelsea and Tottenham still 14.
Yeah, but we've now got more goals. It's just we've conceded more.
Yeah.
A couple more 4-0s, we'll be back.
Yeah. I still think it's Liverpool's to lose no matter what Klopp says, to be honest.
The problem with us has been injuries. Like I say, we've had we've not just had one big injury, we've had a season of continuous injuries.
Yeah.
Starting to mellow out now, he says, considering Salah's most likely going to get injured against Fulham or something.
Yeah.
Did either of you two watch the Sheffield game?
I did not watch the Sheffield game.
Well, I just want to talk about it very quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
I honestly think Sheffield were very unlucky not to come away with a draw in that game. You could see when Vardy scored that 89th minute goal, you could just see Chris Wilder was devastated. He was like, I think in shock was a bit too strong.
Yeah, no, I did see that, to be fair.
But he looked just distraught.
So what's going on with Sheffield? Because it's pretty much a very similar team to last year that finished ninth. And no matter how little investment you do or if things aren't going well, you shouldn't be dropping from 9th to 20th with about 2 months gap.
I think the magic's worn off, or it's just second season syndrome. I don't know, but
I think it's second season.
That's such a collapse, though. 9th to 20th. Think about that.
I genuinely think it's just second season syndrome. I don't know. Again, they've got Southampton on the weekend. That's not going to be easy. But I don't know if you're saying this. I'm
not sure if it's just that they're not a bad team. I just think everybody else is better. Because I don't think there are that many poor teams.
Do you think they're missing Dean Henderson?
Potentially, yes. He's not going to score them goals though.
No, but
they're missing people up front who score goals. That's what they're missing.
Well, Ryan Brewster's done very little since moving for 25 million.
He doesn't start though, does he?
I don't know why they're starting Ollie Burke, who flopped at every other club he's been to. I don't know why they're starting him. And Ollie McBurney, he either scores like a brace or just doesn't show up at all. He's very.
But again, knowing the Premier League and how quick the turnover is, how soon till Wilder's job's in question?
I don't think they'll sack him.
I'm not saying they will. I'm saying how long until those questions start to be asked.
I mean, questions
are already starting to be asked, but I don't know. I feel like they'll keep faith in him to go down to the Championship and rebuild. You're saying that they won't sack him, but we didn't think that Leicester would sack Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah, I think
5 months after they won the Premier League.
I think it's different because it's been there since they were in League One.
Yeah.
So he's been there a while.
Yeah, but if they think that he's not going to keep them safe.
Also, what does Sheffield through and through?
But think about how much money is lost when you go down to the Championship. The board and the people who, at the end of the day, the people who run the club.
Well, they didn't really deserve to be there in the first place, but they stayed in the first season. That would have given them a lot of money.
Yeah, but you know what football's like. It's cutthroat. Gone are the days where managers
Burnley got relegated twice under Dyche, didn't they? And they still, kept with him. Or was it once? I'm pretty sure it was twice.
Yeah, but that's one team you've named out of 3 teams go down every year.
I think Sheffield are a fairly loyal club to their managers. I'm not an expert.
We'll have to see, but I wouldn't be shocked because any other club he'd be gone by now.
I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't sack him, but I wouldn't be shocked if they sacked him either.
Yeah.
I think it's a very 50-50 sort of thing.
They might have reached an agreement for him to remove himself.
I think it's more likely he resigns than he gets sacked.
No, but that's what I mean. So, for instance, Liverpool got rid of Kenny Dalglish before Brendan Rodgers came in. You can't sack Kenny Dalglish at Liverpool. You can't. It's not allowed. You can't. So they reached an agreement for him to step down at the end of the season.
Moved upstairs, like I thought Arsenal were going to do with Wenger.
I think if Wilder had been there for if they'd been in the Premier League for 4 seasons, and then at Bournemouth, they were in the Premier League for 3 or 4 seasons, weren't they, when they went down? And I think that'd be different because I think that's different
for a while.
But if I may finish, I think that's different because now Bournemouth are established. I think they're expected to be in the Premier League, but because Sheffield have only been in the season previously, I don't think they'll be as harsh on him because they're not an established Premier League club. Yeah, they had a good season last year, but it's not like they're established now. They're still fairly new.
I personally would be surprised if they sacked him. That's my...
If the performances like this continue, it'd be time to get the old Claude meme out of, it's time to go!
The thing is, who would you hire in place of him, though? That's the thing.
Sam Allardyce.
Nigel Pearson.
you get a relegation manager. You get a manager whose main role is to avoid relegation. You're not getting a big name manager. You're not even getting a long term. You're not even maybe getting a long term. You get an interim manager like Sam Allardyce in to just keep them safe.
Harry Redknapp, get him off the Foot Asylum adverts. Get him back into the Premier League.
Man, Foot Asylum.
Yeah,
Harry Redknapp basically does anyone. Brilliant. He does adverts for anyone who will pay him £1. That guy is just on every advert.
Oh, mate, he's had a lot of brown envelopes given to him in his hand.
He just Harry Redknapp now.
Another interesting
team. Mid-70s.
Jamie's in his 40s.
Yeah. Another interesting thing you just cannot call this season is Crystal Palace. They had Zaha back this week and they beat West Brom 5.
None of us expect them to have that kind of performance.
No, Benteke getting a brace. Who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. What would the odds have been for that?
Now you see why Liverpool signed him.
Yeah, finally. 6 years.
I know it's got nothing to do with football, but I really have to. When you brought me up betting odds, I've got to tell you about something incredible. 20-1 odds on Logan Paul to beat Floyd Mayweather. There's 20-1 odds. There's 20-1 odds for Logan Paul to beat Floyd Mayweather.
Logan Paul was like half of his age.
Mate, honestly, fair play to him.
19 years.
But he's not beating him.
It's 5 foot. Thing is, right? Look, Floyd is the more skillful fighter. He's the better fighter. He'll win, right?
Well,
He'll win. No, but look at the difference in like Logan Paul's 200 pounds, Floyd's 150. Logan's 6'3", Floyd Mayweather's 5'6", 44 years old, 25. You know what I mean? Like.
So you think Logan Paul's going to win?
No, I think Floyd's going to win.
Yeah, the only chance Logan Paul has is literally just his brute physicality. That's the only.
Logan Paul's going into that knowing he's not going to win. He's just gone for a payday.
Well, but so's Floyd. I think we now can see.
Yeah, but he knows he's going to win.
We now know.
And just
Floyd's
imagine you can say,
managing.
"I fought Floyd Mayweather." I mean, just the ability to say that alone, just having that on your resume.
He won't. But could you imagine the diehard boxing fans' reactions if Logan Paul beat Floyd Mayweather?
It's just not happening.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but could you imagine 50-0 Floyd losing to Logan Paul? The boxing fans will off themselves.
Their sport's already been crucified. That would just be like pissing on the corpse.
Say what you will about the sport being crucified. It's got a lot of younger audience interested in boxing, a sport that has been dying out. Yeah, but it had been dying out beforehand. Boxing was the biggest sport in the world in the 60s.
That's true.
1 billion people went to watch the Muhammad Ali George Foreman fight in the cinemas.
Bloody hell! I thought you meant 1 billion people went to watch. I was like,
no. A billion people went to the cinemas to watch Muhammad Ali fuse George Foreman, and this was in the 60s. You know, no other sporting event besides the World Cup has got that kind of numbers. You know, no one's going to be paying that much to watch boxing anymore. No one's going to be no one's interested in boxing the same way it used to be. It used to be the biggest sport. So if it's got to have a couple of YouTubers who can't boxing to get younger people interested.
Well, Mr. Matthew Perry is going to be single-handedly responsible for spreading chess boxing around the world with his brilliant.
Well, that was entertaining.
Thank you.
Well, that was entertaining. I still can't believe you dragged me there.
First class award for that lovely sports package.
I got a first for mine as well. But anyway, shall we move back on to the topic?
Let's move on to the predictions.
I just wanted to get Logan Paul Mayweather reaction from you guys because that's probably the biggest story in sport this week.
You got it out of me. So we are going through 18 games, Leeds versus West Ham, all the way down to West Ham again against Crystal Palace. It's more exciting than them 2 games. But yeah, let's start then with Leeds versus West Ham. Anthony, I hope you are keeping track. What do you think?
I've got it ready to write down everyone's predictions. I went for 2-1 to West Ham against Leeds.
Interesting. Okay. Any reason?
West Ham have been pretty solid so far. Leeds are a bit inconsistent, especially against teams that aren't scoring. West Ham are scoring, so yeah.
Okay, Stephen.
I think just like any other game, Leeds are going to come out of the blocks at the start of the game, and I think they're going to get a lot of goals in the first half and then consolidate. So I'm going to say 3-1 to Leeds.
Okay, so you've gone Leeds to win, and you've gone West Ham to win. We are off to a complete difference in results because I'm going 1-1. Leeds, West Ham, 1-1. So we're off to the fly, boys. No one's got the same result.
This is the big week, though, so...
This is a massive week.
It's very hard to call that game. You could go any way.
Speaking of hard games to call, that could go any way. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Aston Villa. Stephen?
I think it's going to be a pretty entertaining game, hopefully. Hopefully Raul Jimenez is back. But maybe he'll be playing in a head guard because without him, Wolves do not look good up front. Because is it Pedro Silva or something Silva? Yeah, he has not looked good whenever he's played.
Silva. Sorry, I know.
Yeah.
The one from
Pedro Neto looks very good, but Pedro Silva has
the
not.
The one from Portugal, obviously.
You know who's looked pretty quiet this year for Wolves? Adama Traore. Considering how great he was last season.
Even when they've been playing him up front, he's not been doing the business either. So. But I'm still going to say there's going to be goals in this game. I'm going to say 2-2.
2-2, okay. I am going to go for, this is on the basis that people seem to be doing better away from home. I'm going to go for Villa to win 2-1. Just because I know both of them might have injury misses.
Well, they haven't got far to go.
Yeah, I feel like Villa might just come out on top on this one. So I'm going to go Villa to win 2-1. Anthony?
I went, once again, completely different to you two. I went for a Wolves win. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I think
this is
Wolves, despite Raul Jimenez being missing, will still get a few because Villa's defence isn't as strong. I've gone for 3-2 to Wolves.
Oh, so we've all got different again. Exciting.
Watch this game be a 0-0.
Yeah. Newcastle versus West Brom, speaking of 0-0s. No, I'm joking.
No, that was my prediction for this game, is a 0-0.
Okay, right.
All right, Stevens is 0-0. Mine's 1-0. Mine's 1-0 to Newcastle.
I've went 2-0 to Newcastle. They've had a few games where they've scored more than one. So 2-0.
Yeah, okay, that's an easy.
The first big game.
The Manchester derby, Man United versus Manchester City. Let's go to Anthony first.
Both teams have been failing to impress, but Man United also tend to turn up against City. Same way they also turn up against Liverpool. But I've gone for 2-2 here. I think this is a stalemate.
I have not gone for a stalemate. I have gone for a one-sided thrashing, and I'm going to say 4-1 to City.
At Old Trafford?
Yeah.
Their home record this season not been good. Yeah,
but still, Man City United, it's different. It's not like their form doesn't matter. Is less important when it comes up to their rivals.
That's fair. And on that note, Anne, I am also going for Man City to win 2-1 because I don't think the Old Trafford comes into it at all at the moment.
No, but even still, you're 4-1 against a rival is still pretty. That's a big gamble.
It's bold. I admit it's bold, but I'm going for it.
I'm telling you,
fair play. But I think any three of these are likely.
I think Paul Pogba's agent coming out saying what he had there's going to be a bit of an effect.
Actually, I'll give him my reasoning. Because if Man United play in the first half the same way they played in the first half against West Ham, a team like City is not going to miss 4 or 5 chances. They're going to score them. So if Man United turn up like they did against West Ham, they're going to get punished in that first half.
So Aguero's still out?
No, he's back. He scored actually in the Champions League.
Oh, right. Okay. Then that's more possible then.
Okay, so 2-1, 4-1, 2-all.
Yes.
Everton
Another big game.
Chelsea. The team that I managed to always seem to predict correct is my own team. It's Chelsea. I'll be hoping to do the same. I am going to go for this to be a very tight game, but I'm going to have to back my own team. I'm going to go Chelsea to win 1-0.
I also think Chelsea are going to win by 1 goal, but I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1.
You're thinking Calvert-Lewin to score, are you?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've gone for 3-1 at Chelsea. They don't seem to have many games where they only score 1 goal. It tends to be they score a few. But I also think, like you said, Calvert-Lewin, who's been incredible this season. And Mendy's been good, but Calvert-Lewin, I think, has got too much.
So I just want to give a quick shout out. So I didn't mention it in the game, but Kurt Zouma, he has been really good.
He has been.
Especially from corners.
Problem with Zouma is he's a bit like Louise in that he always has one really bad mistake in him every game. But he's looked better.
He's not trustworthy. Like he's the last defender and a great attacker's about running down on him.
But if he carries on the way he is, I think he could get into double figures for goals this season. The way
it's like silly little passes or something.
For example, when teams used to be coming out, Karius and Mignolet, I always went, okay, it's a goal. Even if they were in position.
Well, when I praise him, I said wasn't praising his defensive work. It was more his goal scoring, really. From corners, he's probably the most threatening player from a corner right now.
His leap is like brilliant. Him and Vestergaard, his leap is lethal.
Vestergaard's like 6 foot million, so he can just.
But it's just Zouma. He manages to stay in the air for so long. It's really impressive. Yeah. But again, all the goals he scored, I don't think anybody's marked him well. But anyway, moving on, Southampton versus Sheffield United. Stephen, you said you think Sheffield could have got something out of the Leicester game. How do you think they fancy?
I don't think they get anything out of this game. I'm going to say 2-0 to Southampton. I think Leicester, they got something out of that game because Leicester have just not been playing well recently. And Leicester only just scraped that win, which I think should have been a draw on balance of things. But no, Southampton have been good at the moment. So, and it's at St Mary's, so I'm going to say 2-0.
On that note, I've also gone for 2-0 Southampton, just because I think they should win that, really. And what do you reckon?
I went 1-0 Southampton.
Okay.
Not much to it.
Yeah.
1-0.
Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Anthony.
2-1 at Spurs. I think Palace will get a goal, but I don't see Spurs scoring a lot this time around. So I still think they'll win, but 2-1.
I'm going to say Crystal Palace have just got Zaha off. They've bounced off the back of a very good win, 5-1 to West Brom. I'm not going to do what I normally do and have Palace down to lose. I'm going to have Palace down to draw against Tottenham. I'm going to go 1-1 because Tottenham at the moment have a very hard fixture list and they're doing really well, so they'll probably slip up against someone like Palace.
I'm hoping to slip up the week game after this one.
Yeah, that'll be all.
Right, so I think they're going to repeat the exact same result, and I'm going to say 2-0 to Tottenham. 2 goals in the first half, and then they'll just park the bus and see the game out in the second.
That's possibly fair. Fulham versus Liverpool. I personally think this will be tighter than what people expect on the basis that Fulham are possibly on their best form of the season, even though
we keep slipping up against smaller, like Brighton. We drew 1-1, we lost to Villa.
I'm still going to go for Liverpool to win, but I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1.
It's possible.
And what do you reckon?
I've went 3-0 to Liverpool. Like I say, I understand where you're coming from and I can see it, but I also see Liverpool just beat Wolves 4-0. Most of the star players didn't play during the week, or if they did, they didn't play along, so they've been rested. So 3-0.
Okay. Stephen?
If Liverpool play the way they played against Wolves, then Fulham could be in big trouble this game. This probably isn't very sensible, but I'm not really known for being sensible with my predictions, so I'm going to say 6-0 to Liverpool.
Wow. 6-0 to Liverpool.
Once again, possible. It depends on what Liverpool show up.
Yeah, no, you're right, to be fair. Will be interesting. Leicester versus Brighton. Stephen, back to you.
Am I really going to do it again? Am I going to do it again? The answer is yes, of course I bloody am. 2-1 to Brighton. Come on.
Fair enough. I am going to say 2-2. 2-2. I'm going to stick to that because I think this game's got goals in it potentially. Yeah, 2-2.
We've once again all went different ways. I've went 2-0 to Leicester. I know they've been a bit off form recently, but I do think they've got more than enough to beat Brighton.
Yeah. Okay. Arsenal versus Burnley. Do they continue their bad form, or do Burnley finally get a win against a smaller team? Anthony,
when you say continue the bad form, I didn't know what team you were talking about.
Yeah, I was joking. That's what I was going for. What do you reckon?
I've went 1-0.
1-0. Okay, fair enough. Well, Arsenal at the Emirates, so I'm going to go for 1-0 to Burnley.
Well, we've all gone for different results again. I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal. You both were saying Arsenal were going to finish in the top 10. So if they're going to finish there at the end of the season, this is the sort of game they need to be winning. So
I've got a pretty bad week lined up for Arsenal. As if it went bad anyway. Wolves versus Chelsea. We're back to Wolves versus Chelsea. Stephen.
Did I say? Yeah, I said Chelsea to win the other game 2-1. I'm going to say they're going to win 2-1 again.
Okay.
2 Chelsea, 2-1.
On that note, I've also gone for Chelsea to win 2-1. High five.
I've went for Chelsea to win 2-0, although I've put it down the wrong way on my...
Okay, that's good. We've all got...
Wolves fees Chelsea 2-0, and I'm like, but no, I meant 0-2.
That's interesting. So Chelsea have Everton and Wolves coming up. On paper, 2 tough games, and we've all gone for Chelsea to win both games.
But that's because of how they've been playing. If they dropped points a couple of weeks ago, you wouldn't be as confident. Like, it's the thing when the team's got...
I did predict them to win both games, but only by a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, Everton have been quite poor recently, and Wolves are missing the star striker.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair. Man City versus West Brom. Anthony.
4-0.
I've also gone 4-0.
I've been a bit more kind to West Brom. I said 2-0.
Oh, fair. I'm not changing that either. I'm sticking with 4-0.
No,
West Brom only got thrashed this week because they got a red card quite early on. So, as long as they don't get another red card, I think it's not going to be a massive thrashing like you two have made out to be.
Back to the Emirates. Arsenal versus Southampton. Stephen.
Well, I said Arsenal need to start winning games. I don't think they're going to win this one. I'm going to say 3-1 to Southampton.
Whew.
So obviously I've had Arsenal down to lose against Burnley. I'm going to have them to get a bit better this game. I'm going to have them to draw with Southampton 1-1.
I've went with Arsenal to win 2-1 because I think drawing to Burnley will be a kick up the backside.
Well, I'm hoping losing to Burnley will be a back upside to get a draw. Oh, brilliant. So, 2 games featuring Arsenal this week, and we've all got different results.
Basically, from this week, we've had a lot of different results this week, guys. So, this will be the big one. Usually, sometimes when we have similar ones, even if Stephen did really well, he couldn't overtake because similar results. because we've got so many different results here, this now means basically whoever wins this week will almost certainly win this round of...
Oh, it's exciting stuff. Leicester versus Everton, another really tough one to call. I will start. I think this is going to be... Oh, it's going to be tough. 3-2 to Everton. 3-2 to Everton, but honestly, this could go three ways. This is a really hard one to call. And
I've went 2-1. I think this
I've
game
also
screams
said
2-0.
Yeah, I've said 2 also.
it's going to be an interesting game, that. Leeds versus Newcastle. Stephen.
Unbelievably, I have Leeds down to win 2 games in a row. Wow, look at that. But I can say 2-1. 2-1 to Leeds.
God.
Well, I had Leeds to draw against West Ham. I'm going to have Leeds down to win this one. 2-0 against Newcastle. Leeds to win 2-0.
I'm not changing my result. I've got the same as Stephen. I have 2-1 to Leeds. I think they've got more going forward than Newcastle's defence.
Interesting. Okay, so we've all got Leeds to win that. Fulham versus Brighton. Anthony.
I went 1-0 to Brighton.
1-0 to Brighton.
I can't really explain much more, but I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
On that note, I've gone for 0-0.
Can you believe, guys, that out of the 2 games Brighton are playing this week, this is not the one I backed them to win?
Yeah.
I'm saying 1-0.
1-0.
You backed them to beat Leicester, but not Fulham.
Yeah, just
I
the way
know.
the cookie crumbles.
Fair enough.
It's just
It is possible. It's football. Anything's possible.
Moving on to probably the game that I think is going to be the most interesting out of all the fixtures that we've.
I think this
through.
is the most important game this time.
It's important, and I think it's just going to be a really shithousery game. It's Liverpool versus Tottenham. Stephen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. A lot of good football, so I'm going to say 0-0.
Okay, I'm going to take a different route, and I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of controversy. It's going to be a lot of Mourinho shithousery. I'm going to go for 2-2, and that's because I also want it to be a draw because of Chelsea.
Yeah, I've
2-2.
got it to be 2-1 to Liverpool. I've got back my own team. I think at Anfield, especially with fans back now, that was the big thing. I know it was only in the Cup, but with Wolves, fans were back 4-0. So I'm pretty... Speaking of Spurs, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but someone's put a thread of Harry Kane's The Dangerous Movie does.
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? Oh,
have you seen it, Stephen?
Does he duck when they try and go for a header so they fall?
Yeah, they jump and he backs into them and ducks and then goes down as if he's injured. It's disgusting.
Proper scum, isn't it? It's proper scum.
I don't know how often he does it, but the thing is that is just...
Mourinho's working his magic.
No, but he was doing it before Mourinho as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's been doing it more recently because he's not getting penalised for it. But it's an illegal move in rugby. When someone jumps up to catch the ball, if you do that in rugby, you get sin binned. It's illegal in rugby. How is it illegal in rugby and fine in football?
The thing is, he's not going for the ball in that situation. So should that be a red?
It's not red, but he should be penalised. It should be one of those ones where
his intention is to foul them.
Yeah, but to me, it's not severe enough to be a red. If they foul us, it's dangerous.
Yeah, so that's a red.
I think... Yeah,
it's reckless and dangerous.
But I think if he gets a yellow, he will stop doing it. I think
if
once
he'll
he's
get red, he'll
penalised,
stop doing it.
we'll have to see. It depends how the person lands, honestly, because the ones I've seen look bad, but the players haven't looked. It's just stupid.
And by the way, guys, I froze for about 5 seconds there, so I missed some of what you said.
We're talking about Harry Kane's move being dangerous and stupid.
Yeah. Don't worry, you look lovely, Stephen. Last game of the week, it is West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Stephen, go and take it away.
Am I going first again?
Oh, did you go first last time? I'll go first.
For the past 5 times.
So Palace will get... So I've got Palace, obviously, to draw against Spurs, which obviously means they'll now go and lose to West Ham, which is 1-0 to West Ham. Anthony, since Stephen's going to complain.
I have also went for a West Ham win, but I went for a 3-2. Palace had scored 5, so I think they could score a couple more, but I think West Ham have got good form going in despite losing, so 3-2.
Cool.
I'm going to also be boring and predict a West Ham win and say 2-0. Again, I was tempted to go different, but I'm like, nah, this is one I'm confident about. And so, 2-0 to Palace.
So that is...
no, West Ham, sorry. West Ham, not Palace. Oh, my God.
2-0 to West Ham. 2-0 to Palace, yeah?
Gutted he saw that.
No. Please, no.
And on that note, okay, we've got West Ham to win. On that note, that's the end of the predictions. That is the end of the episode.
Yep, bit of a quieter one this week.
Tasty week coming up, baby. Tasty.
Yeah, there'll be a lot to unpack next week.
Might have to have a bumper episode, or maybe we can do we can do the weekend games in the regular podcast, and then maybe the weekday games we can cover in extra time because there might just be too much to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll
see how it goes.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. My name's Matt Perry, joined by Anthony Milne and Stephen Hall. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.